Oye, mi gente, solamente para que sepan, ya viene mi sabbatical. Let's go! What is up, señoras y señores? Muchas gracias por estar con nosotros. Mi nombre es Noan el Boricua, and you guys already know it is Fuel Pasión Fridays, where we always come together to be able to talk about la cultura, talk about faith y conexiones. So, I'm really excited because I kind of opened up and I said that I'm ready for a sabbatical. This video today on Friday, for all of you guys that are watching, is really kind of the setup as Memorial Weekend. I will be on my sabbatical. Many of you guys know, a few weeks back, I had a video on my 20-year celebration at Nike, which for many that don't know, allows you to have the sabbatical of PTO, aka paid time off, for those that don't know the acronym. And I have the opportunity to be able to spend some time away from work from Memorial Weekend all the way through 4th of July. So I don't want to give too much away, but I am going to be disconnecting. I will have some videos already preset, and I hope you guys can enjoy them. There may be a surprise video along the way throughout June, but for the most part, I really just kind of wanted to, say thank you guys for just supporting, to be honest. Some of you guys even share the video. Man, I'm super, man, muchas gracias, la verdad, man. Big hug to you guys. I also, though, just kind of want to be able to kind of reflect. So this past weekend, we celebrated todas las mamás, all of our moms out there. And I want to say thank you, muchas gracias, because clearly, as KD would say, you are the real MVPs in all that you've done for your families, for yourselves, and your careers, and even your communities. And I just want to say thank you. So that's a big shout out. And I want to say that my bedrock has always been my abuelita. I also love my mom for, everything that she's been through and what she did. But then I also have to give a really special, un abrazo y un beso to you, my love. She actually celebrated her birthday a few days ago. And I'm just really honored that my boys and we are just blessed to have you in our lives. And I just want to say thank you, my love. Continue to be in you. And I really appreciate all the sacrifices, all the work that you've done. My wife is a go-getter. She's a true maverick. And yeah, we're super excited that we're going to be able to spend some time with our families for the summer. So with that being said, so I think about a lot of different things. I think about cultura. I always constantly think about all the different things that are going on in the world. And I just kind of want to pause really quick. And look, I am not an expert. I am a historian out of passion. And I am a theological student. And I just want to be very clear. It's not right when there's lives at stake. And my prayers go out to all my Palestinian brothers and sisters, but also my prayers also go out to all of my Jewish brothers and sisters. Look, there's a lot of history and there's a lot of heightened dynamics in that. So when we think about cultura and we think about faith, it's a lot to unpack. And this video is not to unpack that, but just to be able to acknowledge my brothers and sisters that are Palestinians, as well as my Jewish brothers and sisters. Look, there's conversations on both sides. And I think, I don't know if I've shared this before, but I really appreciate Tyler Perry saying, can we just meet in the middle? I don't know if we can do it, but I know that there's some amazing people that I've talked to this week that are Palestinian, as well as those that are Jewish. And I don't know why. I think as you get older, you get more emotional, but there's images and videos, and sometimes I have to look away and just kind of pray about it, and just praying for a cease and just to have peace and to have dialogue and conversation. And so those two dynamics leads me to this next thing, and I have a little board here because I'm trying to be more organized for everybody. And you guys remember that I had talked about the new book that I started, where it's all about everyone communicates, but few connect. Again, everyone communicates, but very few connect. Do you guys feel me on that? Many times we know people that just love to say a lot of different things, but it's rare when they've actually made a connection. And that's the purpose of this podcast, is conexiones. And this is the reason why I actually got this book. Is by John Maxwell. Many people know who he is. Very world-renowned author and leader, trainer, and everything that he does. A lot of accolades, but enough on that. I want to kind of jump into this. And I was reading, and there was some things that I recognized that one of the coolest things that I think growing up in the 90s, prior to the beeper, shout out to my Motorola beepers. I also know some of my T-Mobile people had the sidecar. Yo, I'm gonna have to Google it somewhere. I'm gonna post a photo. But we had the sidecar. Man, I'm saying sidecar. The sidekick. Jesus. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna go to the beeper. I had the beeper. We used to communicate, and I couldn't afford the big old brick cell phone. It was way too expensive. I was in high school, but I remember the beeper and being able to just send coded messages through numbers, and it was really great, and I really enjoyed that. And I think for me, we understand, and I have this written here, that most people have an easy time knowing when a connection's made, meaning that there's things that you look for, right? Especially, again, if you're on the phone, not text messaging, not a video message, on the phone. If you're on the phone, you know when you make a connection on there. You also know, I'm getting a little excited. You also know when you're on the phone, you didn't have a good connection. Sometimes the call might drop and you know that you didn't connect. If anything, it's disconnected. But when you make a connection, right? There's something about that. Like, how have I connected with others? How do I know that I made a true connection on the phone? Again, I'm talking old school. Even now, like if I were to get my phone over here, when you get off the phone, you're like, yo, that was a good call. You get off the phone and you feel good. You get off the phone with a loved one and you feel the love, right? There's something about making that extra conexión. And it's actually a few things that I want to call out. One of the things is that you realize you connected with someone. Te has conectado cuando ves el esfuerzo, when you see the effort, that extra effort, where the saying goes that people go the extra mile. That's huge, right? The other way you also know that you've made una conexión is this un aprecio, right? This unsolicited appreciation that the person on the other line is saying some really good, positive things of whatever that communication you're having with that person. But on the flip side, you as well say some things that truly come from a authentic, genuine place, that you're making this connection with the person. Not only that, you have this unguarded openness, right? Here's the word. There's a big word. Trust, right? You know you've made a real conexión cuando tú tienes ese trust with the person, no matter if it's a loved one, a coworker, or a friend. The other thing is, and you guys know what I'm talking about, especially if you got Bluetooth in your car, there's this, what the author says, is enjoyable experience. In other words, you feel good about what they're doing, what they're saying. In return, what you're actually telling them, what you're doing for them. Those are some of the signs that we see. There's this emotional bondedness, right? This willingness to be emotional and be vulnerable. One of my coworkers actually said this word that, our team is willing to be vulnerable. That's when you know you've made a connection, right? And then one of the last ones is that esta energía positiva, right? J Balvin, you didn't pay me for this, but I'm going to just give you a huge shout out. If you haven't checked it out on Prime Video, El Niño de Medellín, it's just... Man, it's an amazing documentary. And, he always says buena vibras, right? But what I loved about it is that in his openness of his depression and anxiety and just his mental health, he has people around him that is some really good positive energy and connections. And he's super vulnerable, right? In the same way, right, that example that I'm giving you, there's those moments that we know on the phone or in person. That positive energy goes a very long way. The last one, not to take too much time for you guys, is that growing synergy, right? The effectiveness is greater, right, when we're on the same page. So anytime that you or I interact, we see the evidence of maybe all or some of those things that I've mentioned. I hope que te puedes conectar hoy más que nunca. ¿Por qué? Why is it important to connect? Because we're still getting out of the pandemic. because we're still navigating social injustice, because we're still trying to have these conversations of all these different things that are going on in North America and also beyond. We need to stay connected. We need to have these moments to be able to not just communicate, but to connect. Thank you so much. I hope that you guys can check us out, follow us, check us out fuelpasionpodcast.com. But more importantly, recuerda como siempre, vivir en la cultura, demostrar the faith y como siempre, tener las conexiones. Thank you guys.